Hello students. So today you are going to read the poem A Thing of Beauty composed by John Keats. Before this I want to say something to you. If you have not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it. Press the bell icon so that you can get the current notifications. Now let us talk something about the poet. The poem, as you know, is composed by John Keats. He was born in 1795 and died in 1821. So you can see the life span of John Keats. It is very short. The span of his life is very short, but in this short life span, he has composed in abundance. The literature, the poetry which he has given to English literature is really remarkable. He is one of the romantic poets of English. He is known for his love for country and sensuous descriptions. Sensuous here means related to senses. He has also written about the nature, beauty of the nature. He raises about nature the philosophy questions. The poem A Thing of Beauty is taken from the poem a romance that is called a poetic romance Endymion. The poem is based on Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful shepherd and a poet who lived in Mount Latmos, he fell in love with Cynthia, who was the moon goddess. She was very beautiful, and this shepherd wanted to seek her, and for that he wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. So here some qualities of the poet has been brought out here. He was one of the romantic poets. He is also known as sensuous poet. He had a great love for Greek mythology. Now let us talk about the poem. John Keats, as you know, he was the poet of beauty. For him, beauty was an escape from painful life and experience of the world. As you know, that today's world is full of fear, anxiety, and despair. Generally, poets and literary people, they want an escape. And for poets, the best escape is to write the poetry. He has also escaped from the political and social problems. Although writers, they talk about their political issues, they also talk about their social problems. But John Keats has mostly dealt in the realm of imagination only. Keats believed in the beautiful thing is a source of permanent joy and happiness. Here he can be compared with other poets like Thomas Carlyle, Shakespeare, for whom a beauty is short-lived. It perishes with the passage of time. But for John Keats, it is permanent, it is eternal, it cannot die with the passage of time. Moreover, it increases with the passage of time. Now let us come to the poem. Explanation of the poem. A thing of beauty is joy forever. The very beginning of the poem is a thing of beauty is joy forever. Any beautiful thing, it is a joy forever. It gives happiness. It is everlasting. It is perpetual. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. The loveliness of beautiful thing, it increases with the passage of time. It will never pass into nothingness. Nothingness means here it never comes to an end. A beautiful thing never comes to an end, but will keep a vow quiet for us. So when we will see a beautiful thing, what will happen? It will keep a vow quiet for us. What is bower? Bower is actually a shady place in the garden. So it gives the pleasure, it provides us a shady place and a sleep full of sweet dreams. When we will see some horrible sight, horrible thing, we cannot have a sound sleep. But when we see some beautiful thing, what happens? We have a sound sleep. And when we have sound sleep, sweet dreams come. And when we have a sound sleep and see the sweet dreams, what happens? What is the result? Good health. We get good health. So beautiful thing provides us good health and quiet breathing. Quiet means relaxed breathing. Our breathing is quite relaxed, relieving. Therefore, on every morrow, we are reading a flowery band. On every morrow, every morning, we are reading. Reading means we are binding a flowery band. What is a flowery band? Here, flowery band symbolizes the connection to bind us to the earth. There is one bond, you can say, or there is one connection that binds us to the earth. And what is that connection? That is the thing of beauty. Beautiful things or nature connects us to the earth. Now, you will see what are the things on the earth, prevailing on the earth. Despite of despondence. What is despondence? Disappointment. On this earth, disappointment is there. Inhumanity is prevailing. Dearth of noble natures. Lack of noble people. Lack of noble nature is there. Gloomy days. Our days are full of gloom. We have lost our happiness of all unhealthy and over darkened ways. We possess unhealthiness. We have lost our sound health. We are surrounded by different diseases and over darkened ways. Our our path is over darkened. We are not able to see our path clearly. We are not able to decide between good and bad, between right and wrong. Made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, in spite of all these things, what is all? All here refers to disappointment, despondence, inhumanity, lack of noble natures, sad days, unhealth, and over darkened ways. In spite of all these things, there is one thing, and what is that? Some shape of beauty. Some beautiful thing moves away the pall. Moves away the pall. Pall here means curtain, or you can say shroud, because there is a curtain spread on over our soul. So the curtain is made up of all these things. It has covered our spirit. But when we see some beautiful thing, that beautiful sight, that beautiful thing removes that curtain from our dark spirits. Our spirit has become dark due to the curtain, due to the shroud which has covered our spirit. But the beautiful sight removes that curtain, removes that shroud. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. Now here, in these lines, you will see the poet gives the example of beautiful things. What are the beautiful things? According to poet, the thing of nature, like sun, it is also a beautiful thing because it gives us soothness when in the cold season when we feel very cold, we get comfort under the sun. The moon, we get relaxation in the night. Trees old and young trees are also the thing of beauty. Sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. Here you will see the poet has used this word simple sheep. This is a phrase simple sheep. Actually, this is a kind of symbol. Here simple sheep refers to The people refers to the people who are guided by Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ take the people from the darkness and he shows the way of happiness to the people, and such are daffodils. Moreover, along with sun, moon, trees, other things are also there which are the thing of beauty. What are those things? Like daffodils are there. Daffodils are the flowers with the green world. Green world here refers to the forest, because daffodils, these flowers bloom in the green world, in the forest they live in. They live in here means daffodils live in the green world, and clear rills, clean watered rivers or rivulets, small rivers, these are also a thing of beauty, that for themselves a cooling cover made. That for themselves here refers to that these rivers they make a cooling cover. And what is that cooling cover? It is made up of shady trees, because all around the river shady trees are there which provide shade to the water, which make the water cool. This is also a thing of beauty against the hot season. In the hot season, when you see the picture, when you see the image of the river that is covered, that is surrounded by the trees, that is also a thing of beauty. The mid forest break, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. And whatever and what more is the thing of beauty? In mid forest break, in the middle of the forest, the musk rose blooms and it spreads its smell, it spreads its odor, and such too is the grandeur of tombs. Here you will see the poet has diverted from the natural beauty, because according to him only natural beauty doesn't come under the beauty, some other things are also there that are also thing of beauty, like grandeur of the domes means destruction. Although destruction is a very bad thing, it creates fear in our hearts, but sometimes destruction also is a thing of beauty. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Death is also a very horrible thing, but it is also a thing of beauty for those people who were mighty dead, who have laid their life for the sake of country, who had given their life for the sake of country. That is also a thing of beauty. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, the lovely tales told by our grandparents, these also come in category of beauty, heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink, pouring unto us from the heavens spring, and all the natural things, because God has provided us nature, natural beauty, and these natural beauty they come to us in a form of immortal drink. This is a source of immortality that God has given us as a gift. So this was the explanation of the poem. I think you will understand it. Now let us come to the poetic devices which are used here. The poetic devices which are used here, the poem is composed in rhyming scheme. Rhyming couplets are used here. Rhyming couplet, actually in Hindi we call it dohas. Now metaphor is used here. What are the metaphors? All the beautiful things that are mentioned by the poet that come in the sense of metaphor will keep a flower quiet, like flowery band, some shape of beauty, an endless fountain of immortal drink. So these are all metaphor. Along with that, some other figures of speech are also used here, although I have not mentioned in detail, because already I have told you about the figures of speech. Alliteration is there. You can find while reading the poem noble natures, cooling covered. Next, imagery is also there. imagery, flowery band, shady boon, clear rills. These create a kind of image in our mind. That's why they are imagery. Symbol, as I told you, symbol is also used because here sheep, simple sheep, it refers to mankind. Christ is considered as the shepherd who leads human soul out of the dark world of the sins and temptations. Along with this, transferred epithet is also used here, like gloomy days. Days are actually not gloomy, but it is considered that days are gloomy, unhealthy, and over darkened ways. So these are all transferred epithet. Oxymoron is also used here. In Hindi, we called it virodhabhas, like mighty dead. So these figures of speech are used in this poem. I am not going to give it a great detail or definition of these figures of speech because already in previous videos I have told you the definition of it. While reading the poem, you will find these figures of speech. Now let us come to the thinking. Think it out. We will discuss it. List the things of beauty mentioned in the poem. So you will see here, when you will read the poem, you will get what are the things of beauty. You will see sun, moon, trees, rivers, sheep resting under the shade. These all come under the category of beautiful things. Now second question is, list the things that cause suffering. Already you have read what are the things that cause suffering. That is despondence is there, that is called disappointment, inhumanity, lack of noble natures, gloomy days. These all give us sufferings. Next question is, what does the line therefore we are reading a flowery band? Actually here flowery band refers to the connection of the nature, because we all people are connected to the earth with the help of nature, because nature keeps us binding with the earth. What does it suggest to you? So you have to describe it here. What makes human beings love life in spite of troubles and sufferings? As you know that human beings suffer from so many things, so many troubles are there, sufferings are there, but still there is one thing that removes all these things. And what is that? That is the thing of beauty. So I am just giving you the hint. You have to elaborate all the answers yourself. I am just giving the hint. Keep this thing in your mind. Why is grandeur associated with mighty dead? Mighty dead, the people who have laid their life for the sake of country, for the sake of people. So really their death was full of grandeur. So that's why it is related to grandeur. Do we experience things of beauty only for short moments, or do they make a lasting impression on him? As you have read the poem, you have found that it is not short-lived, it is permanent, it is eternal. It increases with the passage of time. So its impression is everlasting. Next question is, what image does the poet use to describe the beautiful bounty of the earth? So you can see here in the last line he says that an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. So God has sent us the natural things, natural beauty, and that is in a form of immortal drink. So these I have just discussed with you. Answers, when you will write, you have to write in your own language. I think the poem is clear to you. If any problem is left, you can discuss and ask to me in the Google class. Once more, I request you that you should subscribe our channel. You should press the bell icon so that you can get the current notifications. Thank you, children. Stay safe. Stay at home. Thank you.